right. Well, all right. Good. We're live. Hey, everyone, we're live. We are live. Welcome
Up,
to a
everybody.
new year. It's preseason. It's preseason mode. Got some technical issues working through, but that's what preseason is for. It's time to get things smoothed out. We'll have a chance to do all that. But welcome, everyone. It's nice to see you guys back. Jose, Chris, welcome back. Happy New
Howdy.
Year. I don't know if we're still. Larry David says you got 5 days to wish people Happy New Year, so we're past that. But hey, it's the first time getting together. It's preseason for FC Dallas. It's preseason for Major League Soccer. A lot happening, a lot to get to. So we're in that preseason mode, just starting to think about what lies ahead for FC Dallas and the 2026 season in Major League Soccer. So welcome, guys. How was everyone's holidays? Good.
Excellent. Excellent. Hectic. Very hectic.
Yeah.
Yep, solid as well. Got to see some family, but I'm sure we'll get into it. But I'm excited for the season.
I know it's like it seemed like it was such. That's how it often is when you don't go into the playoffs. You make a deep run into the playoffs. That it feels like the off season's forever. But boy, seeing the videos of the guys making their way to the practice facility this morning on FC Dallas social media's accounts. A shout out to that great media team there. Just fun. It's fun to see the guys coming in and getting ready to go. We'll have some video clips in a little bit. But let's just talk about, first of all, it was a couple months break here for FC Dallas. There's been some movements. There's been some changes, some signings, some guys to look forward to. We'll talk about that in a moment. But, uh, you know, season, it's funny how we sometimes call it silly season because however we were feeling at the end of the end of the season, and FC Dallas did make it into the playoffs. Credit to them for that late season fight. We often do focus more on what the team needs and lose a little bit of our optimism after a long season. But something happens in this offseason where all of a sudden we are dreaming big again. And so FC Dallas certainly is in contention, as is everyone at this point of the process. So what's y'all's feeling of optimism overall at this point? Looking at, thinking about some of the signings, the movements already, but also just your sense, can this team take a next step in 2026? Jose, what's your sense of optimism?
I'm probably more optimistic than most people. I'm I'm one of these guys that gets excited at the start of every season. I'm still not at the point where I'm like miserable and oh this team. None of that stuff for me. I'm excited to see. Uh, I think there's a lot of players that coming back that I'm excited to see them improve on last year's seasons, from Capes to Delgado to Kaique, uh, Norris, you name it. There's Torquato, the Farrington, Musa. I think these guys. I'm glad the team's kind of settled on a formation with three in the back, and I think I like what I've seen with the additions that they've addressed areas instead of hey we need to go find another Urugide. If you're not going to do that and you're going to settle on the back three, then what can we do to improve the formation from last year? Hey, how about we add a legitimate starting right wing back? Hey, how about we bring in another midfielder to compete? Uh, and you're seeing moves that I think make sense for this team. I know we're all still waiting for that number 10 DP signing, but let's not pretend like this team didn't get as far as it did last year at the end of the season with only one DP. So I'm just hopeful that they don't wait till first week or second week of the regular season before they add whatever DP they're going to add. But yeah, I'm pretty optimistic. I like that they've settled on formation. I like that they're bringing in players. I like what I'm seeing from this team. I still think it's only year two of a 3-year build, so I don't think we're going to be seeing a finished product anytime soon. But I like the direction that this is going.
Mm-hmm. Nice, nice, Chris. What's your level of optimism?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm right there with Jose on this one. I'm definitely optimistic for the upcoming season. I think Jose summed it up pretty well that this is going to be a long term project, and um, you know, we basically got less than half a season with these guys, and this year is going to be a full season of this team as well as some new guys. Johansson looks solid. I think one of the things I loved most about his signing, which I'm sure we'll go more in depth with, but it feels like the front office is finally giving Quill the team that he needs to be successful and allowing him to run the formation that he wants to run. So I'm excited. Obviously, we'll see. There's still some really strong teams in the MLS, and I think one thing that gets missed sometimes is it's hard to win in Major League Soccer, and making the playoffs was a pretty amazing feat for FC Dallas. But I'm feeling good about it. I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I think we'll talk about these signings in a minute, but as much as fans want this team to go out and get that star number 10, which, let's be fair, they did last year, right? They went out and they got Lucho, and it didn't work. It just didn't work. As much as we want that to happen, we also know it's easier said than done. And I think fans, we need to be able to take stock of just how much better this team has looked, and actually how we're in a really good place as far as this roster build. Not that it's perfect, not that it doesn't have room for improvement, but I mean, we had years in the past where there was no number one striker. I mean, we had guys who were serviceable, but
Yep.
we would see Dallas go out and take a flyer on some kind of promising guy. Sometimes who they went on to be a little bit better once they left FC Dallas, but they were not quite there yet. And we've lacked that striker, and now we have two. We have two strikers who are starting MLS worthy. We've got a midfield that is talented. We've got some pieces there that can continue to grow. We've got a defense and goalkeeping competitions that's pretty good. I mean, again, yeah, there needs to be improvement, and there needs to be those fresh guys coming in. But overall, I think I'm excited. I'm just excited to see Quill with everything he's learned, but also with a roster that has some dangerous players on it, some very talented players. Just to see how he can help them take the next step and see what Quill's vision is. So yeah, I'm optimistic. And actually, I mean, I think we talked about that. It's not like this season, the way the season ended, that we were all glum. Getting to the playoffs was not, we thought, even in the cards for this team. But what a gift that summer was. You got rid of Lucho and found form, and that's sometimes what you got to do to win in this league as well. But also a reminder, if you want a reason not to be optimistic, is that Inter Miami is not sitting around. They're going out. Teams are going out to get other guys. So you always expect the rest of the league is going to catch up a little bit, and to they're trying to get better as well. So there's going to be some of that surprises to come as well. Well, let's talk about these two signings that have already been announced. U22 signing Benjamin, a Polish-Israeli midfielder. Looks like a really hard worker, like a guy who is still young and growing, but has had some experience at the top flight in Israeli league soccer. And then Herman Johansson, kind of a late bloomer, wingback. And what I like about both of these signings, and Johansson too, I just like, because I think it seemed like it was a good fit. He's a very experienced guy. He seems like he's a hard worker. He's an underdog mentality kind of guy, and he fits this formation of what Quill is doing. I mean, that's a big thing, and I think Benjamin looks like he's just going to be another competitive piece there in the midfield. I'm not sure he's going to come in and start, but I like that both of those guys
I,
have. Yes.
I was gonna say I went to correct you on that because I don't know, but Benjamin was given the number 6,
Okay.
which is a number you don't just give to some guy that's going to be a bench warmer.
Okay.
Uh, I'm just curious about that. I think that's a very strong statement. Say, hey, we signed this guy, U22 initiative guy. I didn't mean to cut you off, but
Okay, all
I'm
right.
like, you give him the number six, you don't just give some random guy a number six. So that kind of makes me question what exactly are they expecting from this young man, a
Yeah.
U22 initiative guy, that they give him such a number. So I'm not,
Yep. I think we're
guy.
all waiting to
You don't
see.
just
I
give
mean, I
anybody.
think, yeah, and some of his highlights, he's very active. But I think where I was going with this is like both of these guys have been on teams that have gotten promoted, that have been part of the fight to climb in their respective leagues, which I think is the dog mentality that Quill wants. I think Quill wants some guys who are going to come in and know how to fight, how to play under pressure, how to push. And so I think that's the most exciting thing for me about these two signings. So yeah, Jose, what were your thoughts about these two guys? I mean, I know,
Uh, like I said, I don't know too much about Benjamin. Like I said, it did catch my eye that they gave him the number six, which I think somebody else had. So not only did they give him the number six, but they took it from another player and gave him the six. So, like I said, I don't know too much about this young player. Uh, from from what I've seen, this looks like a player that they were scouting. So he may not necessarily be a Quill guy. Uh, so this is someone they brought in. Like I said, the fact they gave him number six, it brings me adds me a lot of questions to me as to what they're expecting from him. I know we haven't had a lot of luck with players out of the Israeli league anywhere in that area, so it makes watch observing how they use this player going forward a significant, makes a big deal. So I wouldn't say I'm excited about the signing. I'm just curious. Uh, Plus, not to mention, he's the fifth U22 initiative player, and I didn't have a 1DP5 U2 initiative player model. I didn't even know that was a thing. So one of the U22 guys has to go or be re-signed to a different contract or something. I mean, you got to be excited about our new right wing back. This guy has been very consistent threat. 29. He's a solid veteran. I'm very excited what he can bring to this team, and let's not forget that we were having Ramiro starting over at right wing back to end the season. Well, he did a solid job. You kind of with the way that FC Dallas plays, you need someone on that side that's gonna bomb forward and cross the ball and be a threat on offense, but also be solid defensively, which we have not had. We've had either a solid defense or a solid attacking player, but we have not had an actual two-way player at that position in a while. So I'm very excited because I think this he does both, and I think it's an excellent addition to the roster, and I'm excited about that signing. I'm looking forward to see who they add still with that DP spot.
Yeah. Chris, your thoughts on these bigger
Yeah,
signings? Yeah.
I think kind of similar to what Jose was saying about the Benjamin signing. It was interesting they did give him the number six, but I do feel like there's a level of this signing. It feels like there's not a lot of pressure going into this signing for Benjamin, into a pretty deep midfield unit. A lot of guys that kind of already have a solidified spot. I don't know where he'll end up playing. Just obviously he played in the second division in Israel, so he definitely looks like a piece that can be molded maybe into Quill's um, format that he wants to run, the formation. But obviously it'll be interesting to see what ends up happening. The Johansson signing, love it. Like, first off, great name, Herman Johansson. Like, that's solid. But overall, I mean, he had 32 points, 100 plus caps. He's athletic, he's quick. And I think one of the things that he does is he allows FC Dallas to kind of, we were so spread with our center back depth, right? Like, we had Ibiaga, we had Osaze, we had Abubakar, we had some of these guys who were like, oh, we just don't feel confident. Bringing him in, going to the three back, allows us to really just kind of, okay, we of course are going to have Osaze, but Shaq Moore is going to be back there, probably Nolan Norris. Ibiaga will probably get some rotations. I mean, three of those four guys, I feel fairly confident about, especially with Johansson dropping back. I'm sure Bernie's going to be playing the left wing back, but you kind of just take the pressure off of those guys and you really focus on what our strength is getting forward with Musa and Farrington and whoever that deep the number 10 signing will end up being. But I love the signing. I think it's great. Zanata kicked it out of the park. Can't say enough about it pretty much.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I'm excited to see the possibilities here. I'm excited to see the confidence built in this team. And of course, part of the other news I think that is helpful in this preseason, in addition to those guys, is that Giovan Jesus is back and in practice, hopefully healthy, and hopefully as another competitor. I mean, it's been quite a while since we've seen him, and he's going to be rusty, no doubt, but what a gift that'll be to have another competitor there on the back line. And then Enzo Newman is also back and again, it looks like. So some guys that are going to be competing for spots to try to help push that back line, that defensive unit, to get better. And so I think that's Hansen at the very least is going to challenge Shaq, or maybe Shaq moves into right center back, or maybe they Bernie gets pushed out of the starting spot. I just think we're going to have some interesting dilemmas to see how this shapes up in preseason. Speaking of other signings, a little bit lower under as far as expectations, but are still exciting. FC Dallas also heavily participated in the Super Draft again. Traded up. Some you can maybe argue they spent too much for was the draft. It continues just to kind of have a little bit of a decline of value. But they are aggressive as they usually are, and have been very good at finding some interesting guys, at the very least, to help out North Texas, that project. But I like a couple of these forwards they've got who are in camp now that look, one who's 6'4", looks like an interesting possibility, and probably not going to see them with the senior team, but you know, exciting to see them in the mix and see them get some time with North Texas to see what they can show. I mean, Sam Sarver, though, wasn't drafted by FC Dallas, was an example of a guy who got picked up, and he wasn't drafted, was he? Or am I getting my
Sarver? Sarver was drafted, yes.
He was like a third, right? Yeah. Okay. He was at the end, but yeah, to see them find a diamond there, a really quality guy that can help out the team. That's what FC Dallas is doing. So, Edouard Nice, Nicholas Simmons, Ricky Lewis are all in camp. A couple of other guys decided to stay in college, including a goalkeeper that I'm kind of curious about seeing. And then FC Dallas announced some homegrown signings. Caleb Swan, who we know well, part of his deal moved up to the senior team, though we're expecting some more time on North Texas this year. Slade Starnes, Kaka Scabine, I'm assuming. Yeah. Some really interesting guys to see what they can bring. Chris, what are your thoughts on some of these under the radar signings? Are any that you're especially excited that we need to keep an eye
on? I mean, I think the main one will be Slade, truthfully. I think he is the one guy you can probably throw back in at the center back position right now. Just there being so many question marks about who is going to be the three back there. I mean, Osave is a given, but Slade definitely has the potential to get a couple minutes there with FC Dallas. I think most of these guys will probably spend the majority of their time with North Texas SC. As far as the Super Draft goes, the guy that I like was Nicholas Simmons. I thought the 6'4" prospect from UVA, freshman, just an athletic specimen. Like, he is just a beast. Ricky Lewis, obviously, he's the guy we picked at 2, who is super quick, 6'2" as well, so has a lot of athleticism. I mean, both of those guys, I think the one thing North Texas was missing a bit was that striker position, and I think both of those guys, especially Nicholas, I think can be put up there and get a lot of minutes and see what he's about at this next level. So we'll be excited to see what he looks like. And then you mentioned the goalie. I'm pretty sure he's spending another year at Vermont, so it'll be a year to see him. But when he does come through, I mean, he was like the goalkeeper of the year, and I mean, it was 6'6", looked incredible on paper. So I think FC Dallas knocked it out of the park. I mean, obviously, sometimes the draft gets overlooked, but I think the one thing that we do well sometimes is draft as of late. I've been excited about it.
Yeah, another name as that's under the homegrown is Jaden Contreras, who of course we've a lot of minutes last year with North Texas, and still expect him to be with the team there. But a young, exciting player with some U20 calls ups and stuff. So good stuff. Yeah, any there, Jose? You were excited to see any of those signings that fans should
Well,
be looking out for.
I'm excited. I'm excited with the draft. The way FC Dallas attacked the draft in general. We saw this somewhat last year, and we've seen basically now 2 years in a row where FC Dallas has pretty much gotten whoever they wanted because so many teams uh, really do not like they don't value the draft FC Dallas does. So they seem to be able to move up at will. They proved it this year by getting 3 first round picks that they wanted, and it, it, I think they can do this every season. And the value of the draft has gone down mainly because due to changes in the way college soccer is, you're seeing a lot more internationals playing in college soccer. And for a league like MLS that only has so many, when you have so many international spots, drafting international players is not something you want to do unless you're sure they're gonna be with the first team.
Mm.
So I think that's what why the draft just lost some of its value is this year wasn't a deep class, and some of your best players were all international players. So I think that's an issue that they'll get resolved eventually. But overall, I'm pretty happy. I thought this was a draft that was top heavy, and FC Dallas did the right thing by moving up to get players. And I'm also excited about Slade Starnes. I think he's a guy who, seeing him come up shows like he's going to be something. And if you that are hoping that Abubakar or Ibiaga are, shown the door, they'll be shown the door. Starnes proves that he can be part of the first team. If Starnes comes in and delivers, maybe not this season, but starts showing signs this season that he's ready to and start, it's a tough position to get. But he's a player that I think has a huge upside for this team. And once he starts delivering some of that upside, I think then you'll see some of those players that you don't want to see on this roster anymore. That's the only time that they'll get moved on.
Mm.
So I'm definitely very excited about the draft, and I love the way that FC Dallas handled it all.
Well, let's go ahead and jump over really quick, and let's listen to Coach FC Dallas head coach Eric Quill. Which, by the way, the team also made some staffing announcements today. Yeah,
Can I add one last thing?
sure,
Sorry, I
sure.
forgot. I was going to say one more thing. Is I'm not upset at all that some people think that a lot of these draft players are going to go to North Texas because the team has shown that if you play well at North Texas, they'll move you up to the senior roster mid-season if necessary. So I don't think it's such a bad thing that if a lot of these young players end up playing for North Texas early on, I won't be disappointed at all because, like I said, they produce, they'll earn a shot with the first team anyway. Carry on. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, it's. I mean, and this is the thing. I mean, like, but FC Dallas even they take the super draft seriously, and if you find enough hits, it answers a lot of problems in your roster building projects, and so. And they've done the tryout route as well, so I like that FC Dallas. They have a kind of a big vision, and they're not just going to go out and try to outbid the other teams around the world. But yeah, they're going to look for those diamonds in the rough. They're going to look for the guys like Sam Sarver, which is just money, or Logan Farrington. I mean, it just a huge boost to a team that needs to build a roster in a lot of different ways, especially if they don't have the resources like Inter Miami. Yeah, but some of that stuff. I mean, I see the chatter about the Inter Miami stuff, and it's like, how does this work? How? But our buddy Armand Kafai, he says, it works. They can make it work. And plus, a lot of guys want to play with Messi, so and win
Hey,
championships.
if
So
and that's why a player like that alters the league, not just
yeah,
because he's a great player, but because players are willing to take a pay cut to say, "Hey, I played alongside Messi."
hmm
That's a huge deal. You
yeah.
see it in other sports.
Well, this staffing announcement today that the team announced they have brought in Mark Briggs as first team assistant coach. The guy, really up and coming name in head coaching ranks, really well regarded from his USL championship time, most recently with the Birmingham Legion FC. I know their fans are sort of disappointed to see him go, but also it was with Sacramento Republic and Real Monarchs. So he has some experience head coaching. Seems like really fits Quill's style, gives him another voice, a lot of experience, but also might end up becoming a name that they consider down the line if North Texas opens up, if they need to make some changes and things. So really interesting, uh, really interesting hire. I'm excited to see kind of how he can help the team and bring in a different voice. But let's go ahead and jump over. The FC Dallas media crew released a couple of videos. We'll start with one. This is Eric Quill talking about opening day practice.
Coach, how's it feel to be back? It's always, it's like you're a kid again. Even as a coach, I don't touch the ball anymore, but just being in the grass and seeing the youthful exuberance and energy and just the guys getting back, the chemistry, all the banter, it's really fun, and this is what we love most, even though maybe we don't know it or not, but we really value the relationships, and what we do every day. So a lot of fun. The hour goes fast, and so I'm just looking forward to the whole season.
And then what's the message you guys are trying to put on these players ahead of training camp in Portugal, and then this week just getting ready for it?
Every day matters, like who have a purpose. Every day you walk through the building, and self-reflect, and be your own worst critic, and know how you want to get better, how you want to improve. Accountability. I want to, how do we grow these relationships? A lot of new faces, draft picks. You rely on a lot of leadership to connect the dots of that locker room tightness, and so that's going to be, as we grow in preseason, it's all about how fast we can become a team, and so we're looking to part game one.
A lot of differences from your first season till now, just getting ready for training camp. What are those that you're kind of seeing in lessons from the previous year that you can bring into now?
Yeah, I think last year we were trying to set a foundation, which I think we did, and now it's about how do we evolve, year two. And that's the goal, is in what ways do we need to evolve, and are we executing in that evolution every day?
And then are we looking forward to the beat test tomorrow from the players?
I mean, I am. I don't run it anymore, so certain guys love that test. Some guys probably don't sleep much before that test. So, but it's a great baseline, to see where guys are physically, and for us to create a plan to keep them healthy through preseason. So we're not, we're trying to avoid injuries at all costs.
Yeah, all right. That's one of the themes you'll hear in Logan in just a moment. Guys, looking forward to for those tests. The push their fit limits to set the baseline, but also to point them toward like the work that they've got to do to get fit, get ready for what's going to be a long season. And of course, also mentioning that the team is going to be participating in a lot of preseason activities, heading out to Portugal, participating in the Atlantic Cup. With Bromby, and then I think Real Salt Lake over there, and then back here in Texas for inaugural little preseason cup, which looks like a lot of fun for fans, with Houston, and I'm blanking on who else is they're playing. They're playing Houston. They're playing a couple other MLS teams, right? Is that right? Yeah.
RSL and
Yeah.
Red Bull.
Yeah, that's right. Red Bull, New York. Yep. Yeah, great. So it's kind of fun to see some opportunities for fans to get out, check out, but also what I like about it too, and I kind of highlighted this in one of my articles on the site, is just, I know it's preseason, and you don't want guys to get injured, but you also want to create some competitive environments so that guys are getting fit, they're getting a chance to gel, but also you're starting to put that sense of guys who are going to be competing even in preseason for their spots and for this club, because it's you got to have that intensity. Any any comments from Quill's conversation there? Anything jumps out to you guys?
I mean, it seems like he's feeling the same optimism we are, and glad to see that team seems in high spirits, and I think it's just a good sign of things to come.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I just like the fact that he said that we had built a base last year, because it certainly felt that way, and that's part of my excitement, is that the team clearly built a base last season, and now we get to see them expand on that base. And I think you saw where the team finished. The goal should be to finish above that, and not just like one or two spots. They should, the goal should be to finish a couple spots above that. You don't have to be an MLS contender. I get it, but you got to show signs of growth, show signs that you're a better team than you were this previous season, and that's what I'm excited about, because I think this is a solid playoff team squad right now, as is, even before we add a DP.
Hmm. Let's hear Logan now. Here's Logan's reactions the first day.
All right, Logan Farrington, how does he be back for the 2026 season?
Feels great. I think the first day, everybody just loves being out there, being on the grass. We have great weather today, and the ball was pinging around. It was flying around. A couple loose touches, but that's to be expected. But it feels great to be back, have everybody around here. Been missing this for a couple months. So.
And then what's the message from the coaching staff kind of teaching you guys or getting you guys ready for your training camp?
Yeah, I think this first week is just us going to be easing back into it. No injuries, no problems. Just getting a little bit of fitness going. And then when we go to Portugal and a couple games coming up for preseason, that we're really going to start going after it, and that we just need to prepare, be fully ready to go into the season so we can achieve our goals.
And third season at MLS player, what's a focus you have for this season? Any goals or learning from previous years to now?
Yeah, I think this year, third season, I've learned a lot in the last couple of years. Maybe secure my role as a starter a little bit more. And kind of make myself known a little bit more as a player that the team can rely on. I'd like to hit 10 goals. That's a striker's goal for me this year. But overall, just help the team in any way I can. Do my part and make sure everybody on my team knows they can count on me.
And last one, are you ready for the beep test tomorrow? We asked your teammate Ramiro earlier. He said he doesn't know. It's going to be difficult.
I don't think anybody's ever fully ready for the beep test, but I think I'll do all right.
All right. Beep test coming up. All right. Don't envy those guys. But yeah, 10 goals. Well, that would be huge, wouldn't it? I mean, and I think that's the thing that we still want to see from Logan, is we see how much he contributes to this team and how dangerous he is and how much he can create. And yet there's still just like, can he find that next gear? Can he find that next bit of consistency? The right touch, the right pass, whatever it is, the right movement off the ball, just to get even more chances. And if he can get to 10 goals, and then Musa, we know, is going to build off of last year, I mean, watch out. Watch out. This team could be really special. Yeah. Chris, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, I mean, first thing that steps out to me is we got to work on his mustache game. I mean, that thing is thin, but no, I mean, I think it's going to be a big year for him. And, obviously there's a lot of rumors circulating around, and I don't want to start it too soon about Musa, but I mean, obviously it's no hidden secret. He's a legit striker now. I mean, he has been. It's kind of a when it'll happen rather than if he ever gets sold. So, if he can just continue to build upon the success that he's had and just, like you said, really getting to that next gear as MLS proven striker, I think it could be a huge year for him. And, I'm obviously hoping for the best for him.
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. Well, let's talk about some rumors. Let's talk about kind of so the roster's in a pretty good place right now. Obviously, still a designated player spot is open, and the Andre Zanato went on the SoccerWise podcast and just laid it out that they're looking for that number 10. They're looking for that creative player. Talked a little bit about a guy who could maybe go out wide a little bit, move around, a certain kind of profile of player that they're looking for. of course, I heard in Andre's answer to that it didn't sound like they were going to go out tomorrow. Like they're looking, and if it comes, it's going to come, but it could be the summer. They're going to wait to get it right, and which may be a little disappointing to FC Dallas fans who want to see that final piece get added to the puzzle. But there's still rumors out there of yeah, we had rumors about Martin departing, but that sounds like that has Martin took even to social media to say he hasn't really heard anything. There's no fire to that smoke, but still, I imagine he has some interest out there. Why wouldn't he? And then yeah, Musa, always going to be some interest about him, and with the World Cup year, it'll be interesting to see if there becomes anything like that, or if it's a summer move or what. So we're going to have to wait and see on that. And there's been a few little nuggets out there, different FC Dallas checking out some other players or having some interesting guys in the past. So I think one of the big things, you guys already mentioned it too, was this U22 spot that needs to be, and that Enes Salih, I think, seems like the player that they're going to try to find a place with the preseason. He's with the team, he's training. Doesn't seem like he has a future with FC Dallas unless, who knows? Who knows what could happen? Could be an attacking kind of player in that role. I've gone public with my dream of FC Dallas getting Weston McKennie, who just scored for Juventus again, second goal in 3 games. Although, yeah, I mean, I would be audacious enough to Weston play that number 10 spot, be our creator. But I don't think that's really his role. But he is a versatile player, and you can just see that he would be so much fun to have him back in Dallas. But I don't know that his signing would solve. He could play fullback, he could play wing back, great. He could play in the midfield, but I don't know that he would solve some of the questions for the team. The needs. What
Yeah,
other?
but players like Weston can elevate teams. That's a player that you bring in that immediately improves everyone around him just by his presence, just by his abilities. So, yes, he doesn't eliminate some of the weaknesses, but he certainly elevates the team to where they're not as obvious. So, a
Mm,
player like that can raise a club, and who, I mean, I think everyone in Dallas would be just blown away if he came back.
yeah. I mean, it, he's evidently not negotiating new contracts. So his contract runs out this summer with Juventus, but with him scoring, it's like it. I mean, yes, there's a chance he can come back to Major League Soccer. I guess there's been some talk that he would like to, but at the same time, I'm sure there'll be other interest in Europe as well. I mean, teams need good players like that, and he's scored at the highest level. He's been very productive with one of the greats in Europe and Italy. So it seems like ridiculous that some team's not going to make him an option. And rumors were in the past that FC Dallas had some conversations with Weston, but the price tag was just not what they wanted to pay. So we'll see. That's going to be the challenge. Yeah, I mean, I'm expecting the team to go out and get another goalkeeper. That would make sense, right? Like either someone they already have in the mix. I mean, I think my super draft pick, I think that was their idea, was that this is a kid they could have stashed at the number 3, give him some North Texas minutes, but they're going to need that third keeper. Only 2 on the roster right now. So I imagine maybe there are some trialists with some training as well. So maybe there's a goalkeeper in the mix there. It'll be
I
interesting to
think
see.
I think if Paz isn't going anywhere and Kaladi's also back, if you have both of them, then that third keeper really it just has to be a North Texas level player, and I'm sure that there's plenty of former FC Dallas Academy players out there at that position that could come in and fill that spot. Now, if you're planning on moving one of the two, then it becomes a big deal. But right now, I think you just go get a young player or a veteran player, their choice, but someone like I said that can go and get minutes in North Texas and really just be more like of an emergency uh, goalkeeper for us.
Mm. Well, speaking of North Texas, Chris, I mean, I don't know. It's been very quiet. I mean, they finally announced their roster decisions and had all of 6 players left on the roster after just cleaning house there. Of course, when super draft guys are going to get minutes there, and the homegrown players are going to be in the mix again, as well as some other young guys that are likely. I don't know. Are you hearing anything, or is it just as quiet right now? And it's a big season with the new stadium, which I'm hoping to make it out to Dallas to see this year. It's going to be an
Yeah.
exciting year. So I think my hope is that they'll go out and maybe even get 1 or 2 guys that might have a little more of a track record just to kind of boost that excitement. But that's not kind of North Texas's style. It may not be their
Yeah, no,
MO.
I mean that's kind of what I've been saying for the most part. It's been pretty quiet. I think the roster is going to be comprised of the majority of the super draft guys. Obviously, get them down there, get them minutes, which will be exciting because the number 2 pick, the number 3 pick, guys like that are going to be really talented. But it's going to be interesting to see what they end up doing. I imagine there's going to be a couple signings here in the next couple weeks. But that new stadium, they've got to get people in the seats, and what better way than get a couple guys that are maybe a little bit more established, maybe have like a little bit of an older roster, but that kind of goes against what they've always done of playing the kids, being a really youthful team. So interesting. This will be kind of a inflection point for them of what direction do they go with the new stadium? Are they going to go for the results and trying to be a championship caliber team every year, or does it stay with the same of really playing the youth and really developing these guys that are going to eventually be FC Dallas talent, which has always been kind of Gall's talking points for the most part. So we'll see, but I'm excited either way. I think it'll be a fun season, especially with the new stadium coming in soon. So
Yeah, I think
I don't
it's a
think the
bit early.
roster for North. I don't think the roster for North Texas is as bare as it looks. That's just an optical illusion. You throw in
for
the 4
sure, yeah.
homegrown signings, they're all going to go straight down to North Texas. So there's 11 players right there. Then you got to add Ricky Lewis and Simmons and Starnes. Now you're up to 14 players. I mean, I don't rosters as bare as it looks. Like I said, once you're going to have as many as 7 or 8 players from FC Dallas sent down there, just because they're so young. Um, so yeah, I'm not concerned about that roster at all. And don't forget, we still got to add that third keeper, so there's another signing that goes down there. I think, and also the North Texas season starts way after the FC Dallas season, so FC
Yeah.
Dallas will have plenty of time to give these kids a look to see if they want to keep any on the senior roster. But they also have plenty of time to add players for North Texas. So I think North Texas right now gets put in the back burner. We get to focus on FC Dallas, and we get to see what some of the young players that will probably be in North Texas already in training camp, really, with FCD. Like I said, I think you're going to get about 8 players sent down this year. Um, so, yeah, I think North Texas will be fine. I think North Texas, with all the players that they'll probably be sitting down, will probably be a much stronger team on paper than they were last year.
Yeah, and one thing I did want to mention, I completely slipped my mind, but the goalkeeper they just signed, Thomas Birchfield, actually looks to be a really exciting prospect. He was with the Austin Academy,
Austin, yep.
yeah, for the past year or two. And, it's kind of a weird situation. Austin brings in a new goalkeeper coach. That keeper coach wanted to bring in his own guy. Some of this is speculation, but Birchfield kind of ended up just getting put to the back burner after being the team's goalkeeper number 1, the academy. But I mean, the youth, men's national team, prospects, all the guys out on Twitter love this kid. He's, I think, 6'6". So he's got great, or actually no, he's 6'7". He grew it, he grew an inch over the year, but should be an exciting prospect. He's can Jim. I mean, I was watching this video. He made this incredible save, but should be an exciting prospect for North Texas. But I
I
imagine
tell you,
there might be one other signing, but to Jose's point, probably not a ton other. But
I
Yeah.
mean, I want to say he's essentially Kappas 2.0. Don't forget, Kappas came over here from Houston,
Mm-hmm.
and then after he balled out for us, we couldn't sign him because he was, you know, a Houston homegrown. This is a similar situation. You got a player who basically, for whatever reason, is out with this
Mm-hmm.
academy, ends up with North Texas, and I mean, maybe not the same thing as Kappas as he's signing a pro contract, so that is different. But similar situation, and I think FC Dallas as an organization has shown that they're very opportunistic, and if a player drops on their lap, they'll say, "Thank you very much. We'll take him off your hands
Yeah.
for you."
Yeah, six
So
foot
I am
seven,
excited about him, and
16
we
years.
have a great,
Mm-hmm.
great goalkeeping coaches at FC Dallas. So a player like that, I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you be excited if you're a U.S. national, guy that watches all the up and coming players? You should definitely be excited about him landing with this organization.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for reminding me of that signing. So yeah, up to 7 official players on the roster now with Thomas, and really excited. And Nico is the returning goalkeeper who got a good number of minutes last year. But to bring in a talent like this, kid's only 16 years old. I mean, we're not expecting him to break in. Got time, but that also it's a huge get for them. It could be a really exciting star in the making North Texas to build around, and for FC Dallas. Yeah, 6'7", man. Wow. He just lay down. He just lay down. Just stretch his arms out, and all right, good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, I knew. Yeah, we'll be patient on the North Texas front, and of course, there's a lot can happen. Recall last year too that FC Dallas went to Portugal, and then seeing a guy that they liked and figuring out how to bring him over in Alvaro, and that might happen again. You never know if that might happen again. So there's plenty of time for this roster to take shape, for some guys to depart, to trades and other opportunities to come their way. But it's certainly an exciting time in the league, and exciting with the World Cup ahead of us. I put in for a couple of tickets. We'll see. We'll see. But and who knows what the state of the country is going to be like. Things have been a bit chaotic out there, so
Yeah.
it's going to be a long year ahead of us. But guys, appreciate it. Appreciate your time. I think I'm gonna leave it here. Head off, give me a bite to eat for dinner, and it's here. FC Dallas preseason is here. In just a few weeks, we're gonna get to start seeing some action, and excited to see this team and what could be a really exciting year for FC Dallas take shape. Jose, Chris, appreciate you. Appreciate your time tonight.
All right, Nathan, Chris,
Appreciate you.
thank you.
All right,
Y'all have a
and
good
we'll
one.
leave it there. We'll of course be making some technical upgrades as they come, and post the audio a bit later wherever you find podcasts. Appreciate all your support, everybody. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, guys.